1. e4, Karpov, a 10-year-old prodigy, opens with the king's pawn. This showcases a confidence to enter the most complex and classical variations of chess from a very young age. 1. e5, his opponent, Anatoly, replies symmetrically, accepting the invitation to an open game. This sets the stage for a classical, strategic battle. 2. nf3, the most natural developing move. Karpov develops his knight, attacks the e5 pawn, and prepares to control the center of the board. 2. nc6, black develops a piece and defends the pawn, continuing with the most standard and solid line of play in the open game. 3. bb5, the Ruy Lopez. It is truly remarkable that a 10-year-old is not just playing, but mastering the intricate strategic ideas of this deep opening. 3. s6, the Morphy defense. Black immediately questions the bishop, forcing it to decide whether to trade or retreat, a theme that will define the early middle game. For bb4, Karpov maintains the tension by retreating the bishop, keeping his long-term pressure on black's queenside intact. This is the choice of a mature positional player. For nf6, black develops the knight to its most active square, putting pressure on white's e4 pawn and preparing to castle the king to safety. 5-0-0, king's safety is the top priority. Karpov gets his king out of the center before embarking on any complex plans in the middle game. 5-b7, black prepares to castle as well, developing the bishop to a solid square from where it controls key diagonals and protects the king. 6-1 rupee, the rook is placed on the e-file, where it supports the e4 pawn and prepares to participate in the central struggle. A standard and powerful move. 6-b5, black gains space on the queenside, pushing the white bishop back and preparing to create counterplay in that sector of the board. 7-bb3, the Spanish bishop settles on its best diagonal, from where it will exert long-term pressure on black's kingside and center. 7-d6, a solidifying move. Black reinforces the center and opens the diagonal for his light-squared bishop, completing his opening setup. 8-h3, a subtle but crucial prophylactic move. Karpov prevents the annoying bg4 pin, a common nuisance in the Ruy Lopez that can disrupt white's coordination. 8-0, black's king is now safely tucked away. The opening phase is complete, and the complex middle game battle is about to begin. 9-c3, this key move prepares the central advance d4, which will create a strong pawn center and challenge black's control of the middle. 9-na5, the Chigorin variation. Black immediately challenges the powerful Spanish bishop, forcing it to retreat and gaining more space on the queenside. 10-bc2, Karpov preserves his bishop. He knows that this piece will be a crucial attacking weapon later in the game, aimed directly at the black kingside. 10-c5, black establishes a foothold in the center, creating a classic Ruy Lopez pawn structure where the central tension will dictate the game. 11-d4, Fischer strikes in the center, creating a direct confrontation. The battle for control of the key central squares is now fully engaged. 11-qc7, a key move, defending the e5 pawn, connecting the rooks, and preparing to control the semi-open c-file for future operations. 12-nbd2, the start of the famous Spanish knight maneuver. The knight begins its long journey towards the kingside, typically via f1 and g3. 12-rd8, black puts pressure on the d-file, adding another piece to the central fight and preparing to challenge white's plans. 13-d5, a hallmark of the Karpovian style, even at this age. He closes the center, transforming the game into a strategic, maneuvering battle where he aims to slowly squeeze his opponent. 13-nb7, the knight is forced to retreat, but it is preparing to be rerouted to a more active square to support black's queenside counterplay. 14-nf1, the knight continues its journey. From f1, it is heading towards g3, where it will be a key piece in white's kingside attack. 14-c4, black's counterplay begins. He clamps down on the queenside, gaining space and trying to restrict the mobility of white's pieces. 15-g4, Karpov, showing his aggressive side, starts a kingside expansion. This move gains space, restricts black's pieces, and prepares a direct assault. 15. nc5, the knight lands on a strong outpost, from where it puts pressure on white's position and creates problems for him to solve. 16. ing3, the knight arrives at its ideal destination. From g3, it controls key squares, supports a potential attack, and solidifies white's kingside. 16. g6, a necessary defensive move by black to control the f5 square, but it creates a permanent weakness on the dark squares around his king. 17. kg2, a classic Ruy-Lopez king maneuver, demonstrating incredible positional understanding. The king moves to safety and clears the h-file for the rook's future use. 17. na8, the knight is rerouted for defense, a sign that black is already feeling the pressure of white's impending kingside attack. 18. g5, Karpov continues to cramp black's position on the kingside, further restricting his pieces and tightening the strategic vice. 18. f5, black desperately seeks counterplay on the queenside, hoping to create threats before white's kingside pressure becomes overwhelming. 19. b3, the bishop is developed to a strong square, from where it supports the kingside attack and controls key diagonals. All of white's pieces are coordinating perfectly. 19. b4, the queenside battle heats up. Black tries to break through with his pawns, hoping to open lines against the white king. 20. qe2, the queen moves to a more active and flexible square, from where it can support operations on both sides of the board. 20. ba6, black's pieces are becoming very active on the queenside. The bishop on s6 is a powerful piece, putting pressure on white's position. 21. bxc5, a deep and mature positional decision. Karpov trades his bad light-squared bishop for black's active knight, a master-level strategic concept. 21. qxc5, black recaptures, and his queen is now very active, but the removal of the c5 knight has eased the pressure on white's position. 22. qd2, the queen repositions again, keeping a watchful eye on the entire board and preparing to switch to the queenside to support the attack. 22. rdb8, black doubles his rooks on the b-file, preparing to create a decisive breakthrough on the queenside. The position is reaching a crisis point. 23. reb1, Karpov prepares to meet black's queenside pressure head-on, bringing his own rooks to challenge for control of the open files. 23. bc8, the bishop retreats, perhaps preparing to be rerouted to a more active diagonal. Black is trying to find a way to break through. 24. na2, a subtle and powerful knight maneuver. The knight is heading towards the queenside, where it will be a key piece in both defense and attack. 24. ing7, the knight is rerouted to the kingside, but with the center closed, its effectiveness is limited. Black is struggling to find a coherent plan. 25. b3, Karpov challenges the queenside structure, seeking to open lines for his rooks and create weaknesses in black's position before he can consolidate. 25. ba6, the bishop returns to its active post, but the queenside is about to be blown open under Karpov's terms. 26. cxb4, the pawn exchanges begin, and the queenside pawn structure is about to be clarified in white's favor. 26. ax4, black recaptures, but this allows white to create a powerful passed pawn and seize the initiative on the queenside. 27. bxc4, Karpov recaptures, and now the queenside is blown wide open. The tactical complications will favor white, whose pieces are better coordinated. 27. bxc4, the bishop captures the pawn and is now a very active piece, but it is also a target for white's rooks. 28. bd3, Karpov immediately challenges the powerful black bishop, seeking to exchange it and remove one of black's key pieces. 28. bxd3, black is forced to exchange, but this leaves him with a passive position where white's heavy pieces will dominate. 29. qxd3, the minor pieces are now gone from the queenside. The game has transformed into a battle of heavy pieces, where coordination is key. 29. ra3, the black rook invades the third rank, putting pressure on white's position. It looks dangerous, but Karpov has prepared a stunning reply. 30. xa3, the thunderbolt. A stunning queen sacrifice from the 10-year-old. Karpov has calculated with incredible precision that this sacrifice leads to a winning endgame. 30. bxa3, forced. Black must capture the queen, but in doing so, he allows white to create an unstoppable passed pawn that will decide the game. 31, Rx b8+, the combination continues. White wins a piece back, and the a3 pawn is now a monster, a decisive threat that black cannot stop. 31, bf8, forced. The bishop must block the check, but it is now tied down to a passive defensive role for the rest of the game. 32, rc1, the final piece joins the attack. With the rook coming to the c-file, both of Karpov's rooks are now perfectly coordinated and ready to deliver the final blows. 32, qa7, the queen tries to create a blockade and stop the passed pawn, but it is a hopeless task. The rook and pawn are too strong. 33, rcc8, absolute domination. The rooks double on the c-file, creating an unbreakable bind and preparing the final invasion. The position is strategically won. 33, qe7, the queen is forced into a purely passive defensive role, a sad testament to the failure of black's strategy. The game is over. 34, rxf8+, the start of the final liquidation. Karpov forces an exchange that simplifies the position into a trivially winning ending with ruthless efficiency. 34, qxf8, forced. Black must give up his queen to stop the immediate threats, but the resulting endgame is completely hopeless. 35, rxf8+, the final exchange. The game has been simplified down to its bare essentials, and white's winning advantage is now crystal clear. 35, kxf8, the smoke clears. The queens are off, and the rooks are off. White is left with a simple endgame where his pawn advantage and better piece coordination are decisive. Black resigned, recognizing the hopelessness of his position. 1-0.